Good afternoon. I am Brian Robinson. I will be giving the presentation today over the NEA proposals for molten salt reactors. The program mission, I'll read it right from the side, to research and develop advanced technologies to significantly improve the efficiency, safety, and performance of advanced reactor systems. The point of contact for RC-2 is the program director, Alice Campanetti, myself, Brian Robinson, and then our technical POC will be David Holcomb. Our programs are working to address several high-level questions. I'm going to go through these just so you can understand some of the fundamental issues that we're dealing with molten salt reactors. How can we improve the affordability of nuclear power? How can we improve the inherent safety of advanced nuclear reactors? How we can improve the proliferation resistance of advanced reactors, which is a very important issue to address with molten salt reactors. How we can expand the nuclear technologies into non-traditional nuclear energy markets, potentially like smaller markets similar to the SMR. How we can increase the performance and efficiency of advanced nuclear plants through materials, advanced systems, or components. Our interest with working with the universities has been focused on a few technologies. We want to identify, characterize, and qualify successful salt and material combinations. Right now we have at least 3 areas that we're focusing on with fluoride, chloride, and thorium. We want to develop an integrated reactor performance model capability that captures the appropriate physics needed to evaluate plant performance over all appropriate timescales and licensed designs. We would like to establish a national salt reactor infrastructure and economy that includes affordable and practical systems for the production, processing, transportation, and storage of radioactive salts constituents. And lastly, license and safeguard framework development to guide research, development, and demonstrations. We found that these 4 elements are very important, and we think that they focus the research of the universities the best. More specifically into the areas, I provided some very topographical ways to explain our scopes of work. I'm not going to go into them, but they will be on our site. Development of thermochemical database for understanding salt behavior in MSRs. The thermochemical models and values are needed to predict MSR characteristics. Now those could be specific to fluoride or chloride more specifically. Thorium at this time is a little a fuel characteristic that we're not as interested in as we are the historical legacy of fluoride and the new advancements in our chlorides. Secondly is innovations in MSR fuel capsule irradiations. One of the things that we would like to do is look at ways that we can accelerate and decrease the cost of fuel salt irradiation. The output of these projects will fall back into our R&D programs to support the advancement of advanced reactors. Examples of awards can be found for FY17 at the link provided at the bottom of this page. I provided 4 awards that came out in FY17. Those are specific to MSRs. Methods to predict thermal radiation and design, radiation heat transport and optical characterization, and bimetallic composite development and compatibility in flowing fluid. So all of these were specific to MSRs, and I would like to provide those and this link so that people who are interested in applying will have a base and a foundation. That was a pretty quick presentation, only about 5 slides, but at this time, whoever's on the line, I will take questions.
Okay, please submit your questions now if you have them. We will stay on the line for several minutes to answer anything that you have. Brian, what specific materials are of interest in regards to corrosion?
Right now, Bill Corwin and Sam Sham is our lead materials people. Oak Ridge is our point of contact also, and we can get much more specific into the details of those because we have, the question's a little bit difficult to address directly because we have ongoing research. We have research that is literally being evolved and handed out in other awards, in addition to program activities. So for that question, if you would like to get in touch with me more specifically, I can get you details very specific to either the materials that you're interested in or the point of contacts that would answer that question.
And as a point of reference, Bill will be giving a presentation tomorrow at 11:30 on advanced reactor materials. So that question can be asked there as well. Is there a preference given to neutron versus ion irradiation for fuel salt irradiations?
At this time, we're in a data capturing mode. I don't believe we have any preference of one or the other.
Is optical characterization of salts with corrosion products of interest?
Yes.
Is the thermochemical database focused on experimental or modeling aspects?
Well, to answer the second question first, second part of that question, and not to be a stickler, but it's hard to make modeling equations without having empirical data. So I would say that both of them are very important. I certainly would lean on the first one the most because modeling, if done correctly, should have a lot of quantitative and empirical data to support it.
We'll stay on the line for another minute or so, so please submit the questions that you have right away. Are particulates for corrosion expected?
Again, I think that is an issue that Bill Corwin probably can answer better than me because he is our material scientist. I would lean to saying yes to that issue, but defer to Bill to give the details of that answer. Bill will be on tomorrow giving his part of the presentation at 11 a.m.
For RC 2.2, is there a preference on fluoride fuel salt or chloride fuel salt?
The overwhelming information that we have in our legacy for data mining will be support fluorides. We currently have many projects that are supporting the chloride fast reactor version. We don't have a preference to either. We'll be accepting information to support both, but I wanted to provide that much of that detail and legacy of information over the last 50 to 60 years could probably be mined from OSTI.
Particulates change the transport of thermal radiation. Are models that encompass particulate scattering of thermal radiation of interest?
Yes, I would say that would be of high interest to us.
Okay, Brian, I think that's all the questions. Oh, hang on, we have one more that just came in. For RC 2.2, should the thermophysical property measurement be separated from fuel salt irradiation measurements?
I think the separation would be a necessary part to accurately quantify that information and send it forward to us. The mechanism of which you do that probably would be should be reported so that we can fully understand if they are separate or combined.